Mae'Govannen, my Elven brothers and sisters, and I hope all of you are doing well today. Today we're going to be talking about what you can do to live as an elf in today's world. Just a short little video on it. Last episode we talked about what is an elf. Alright, I get that question quite a bit from people who just don't understand because of, again, like I mentioned before, because of shows like Disney and other companies like that, changing what the concept of an elf is. Of course, when you boil it right down, an elf is whatever it means to you most, as long as you are showing the attachment and love for the earth. All right, so what is an elf like today? What kind of things can we do living as an elf? All right, if you look back at some of my prior episodes, you'll see where I talked about living on our home that we have. We call it Eldayana, which is Elvish, Quenya, for Elven Sanctuary. All right, and so you saw a little bit about how we live up here. We're way up in the mountains, and we're on 158 acres of land, and we have an organic garden and organic orchard that we planted. We have so many gifts from Arda, from Eru, and from the Maiar and Valar, and we acknowledge that. But a lot of people will go, well, I don't have those particular gifts. How can I live as an elf today? All right, especially with so much of the prejudice and so forth, and people wanting you to conform. Fortunately, more and more people are beginning to realize that even in an urban setting, you can still live as an elf. You can still find access to nature. And in an urban center, sometimes it's even more important. As a lot of you know, I'm a doctor. We have a medical clinic that we run. And in that clinic, we treat a lot of patients who come in presenting emotional issues. They've been diagnosed with depression or anxiety, even schizophrenia and things of that nature. And they come in and they're at their end of what they can do because they've been using drugs for years, and they're so burned out and so sad and anxious. And we find, and I know that a lot of you are going to look at this as an oversimplification, but after years of doing this, I've been in medical practice for 20 years, and I find that one of the greatest causes of this is to be disconnected from nature, to be disconnected from who you are, from who and what you are. And we are elven in nature. We are children of Arda. We are children of the earth. And if we forget that, then we forget the greater part of who we are. And another thing that's happened is that in this world, people no longer have those ancient rites of passage that says when you go from being a child to an adult, from a child to a man, from a child to a woman, those rites of passage are gone. And so people don't know when they reach new levels, new high points in their life. Couple that with just not being associated with trees any longer and with nature. As I mentioned in some of our past episodes, they talk about forest bathing, something very, very big in Japan, and is finally taking over in other parts of the world, here in the US as well. They have found that literally, this is a medical fact, clinical trials have been done and found that just being under trees can help with anxiety and depression. The trees literally secrete chemicals that go through the air and affects humans on an emotional level. So even in an urban setting, you can get back to nature, and we're going to talk about that. One of the things, again, I'm not trying to promote it, but for those that know a little bit more about me, we run the only Elven online college in the world. It's Mae'Govannen, the Elven School of Lore Masters, the Elven School of Enlightenment and Light. All right, and we are just getting ready to release a new course. It'll be out, all goes well, in a couple of days. 2 courses actually are coming out immediately, and that's Elven Botany and Elven Ecology. These both offer certifications as an Elven botanist and as an Elven ecologist, or as basic ecology and basic botany. Why am I telling you about that now in this video? Because I'm not trying to push the school here. Because one of the things that we wanted to do, that we felt that was most important with the school, was to continually promote the connection between ourselves and the earth, as we are children of the earth. And so science besides philosophy and culture, science is one of the ways we can do that, by helping us to understand the world about us and how we are intertwined with that, and we cannot be disconnected from it without serious harm to our body and our souls. All right, so what we're going to talk about again is how you can be an elf today. Okay, so there's positive and negative behind this. I've been telling you a little bit of the negative. What are some more of the negatives that you get? Because some people will do it through cosplay because it can be a little bit more accepted, and that's great. Sometimes if we play at something long enough, it becomes real, and that's wonderful. Because of what we experience when we try to just be who we are, is 4 primary things that can hit us that are negative. Prejudice, fear, and from the others because they don't understand. It is often a case of humans that they fear what they don't understand. All right, which then causes the prejudice. They insist that we conform to them, and that is just not something that is within the elven nature, is to be a conformist. It is not. And the more you awaken, the least conformist you become. You know, the old cliches, the more wise and awakened you become, the more crazy you look. Because the rest of the world just cannot comprehend it, and they want you to conform. And all this comes from disbelief and fear. They just can't believe that elves can exist. After what they've been experiencing on TV for years, I'm not terribly surprised. All right, so those are some of the negatives that you can experience, and I imagine probably about everyone who's watching this video who is in any way, shape, or form awakening to their elven selves, they probably experience this almost on a daily basis, especially the more you come out as an elf, the more you experience it. All right, so let's talk about some of the positive things we can do. Things that we can do, because what I have found for myself, so what I'm telling you is my personal experience. I have found that if I'm going to be an elf, then be an elf. Be an elf every day. Immerse yourself in elven culture. All right, how do we do that? All right, well, sometimes fantasy can lead us towards reality. As many of us know, J.R. Tolkien said that often within myth and legend is truth. They are based on truth. So one of my favorite things, obviously, and I suppose it is with many of you others, is Lord of the Rings. The series, The Hobbit, I still enjoy that. I love reading the Lord of the Rings. I love watching the movies because of the inspiration that they give me. My favorite of them all, though, and one of these days I will get back to my series that I'm doing with the videos on the Silmarillion. I'll be get ready to do chapter 3, so I know some of you have wanted to see that. I will be getting back to that. Sorry for some of the delays and things I've been doing. It took a lot for us to get the Elven College online. It's now running and smoothly, and we're adding courses every month, so I've got the time to be able to get back to the things I want. A lot of you have been waiting for the newsletter to get back into the process again. We produced multiple issues, then we took a break for the school. Well, the good news is the next issue, issue 5, will be coming out this weekend. So thank you everybody for your patience for the Elven Newsletter. It's coming back out, and I'll be providing a link in the description for those who would like to subscribe for free if you'd like to see the next issues when they come out. Okay, so Lord of the Rings, Narnia. I mean, I really do enjoy it. I know that some people say there's a heavy Christian element to it, but again, fantasy can be inspiring. All right, and one of my absolute favorites, especially because of the series of books that are out, is On the Dark Crystal. They're all in a whole series of books now. You can find them on Amazon. While the movies were outstanding, and I love them, and of course I watched the Age of Resistance and all. The Age of Resistance is actually now out in a series of Dark Crystal books, and it's just the feeling you get from them. It's the confirmation of what you feel inside. Even if the books are a fantasy, it still confirms something that you feel inside of yourself. All right, surround yourself with the things that are natural within the elven culture to be in love with. The love of music. There's so much elven music out there now, so much beautiful music out. It used to be quite hard to find. You pretty much had to play it yourself. Now YouTube is awash with beautiful elven music and elven videos. So music is something incredibly important to us as elves. It really is important to everyone, even those that don't realize who they are. Music has been proven to actually heal the brain. It rewires the brain and causes wiring the same as mathematics does. Those They did studies on children who were exposed to music and those that weren't. And those that were exposed to music were able to have higher cognitive ability. They were able to think more clearly. Memory was better. It was really quite fascinating. Music alone, how much it can shape our brains and change us. I tell a lot of our patients who come in presenting anxiety and depression, surround yourself with music, especially those that live in an urban setting where there's a lot of noise. Surround yourself with music. It's a very Elven thing to do. And on that note, one of the things I love to do, some people have the patience for it, some don't, is to play a musical instrument. How much more Elven can you be? I play 3 different instruments right now. I play the flute, which is an alto recorder. I'm very much into more the medieval style, so I play the alto recorder. I play the ocarina that actually has Elven writing on it. It's very cool the way they did it. Let me see if I can get that right so you can see that. So anyway, this is the ocarina that I play. Maybe one of these days I'll play it for you. Plus I would like to do a workshop on it as well sometime. And on that note, remember, anybody that wants to come see the workshop, we have a workshop on YouTube on my channel, the Elven Scholar. It will be on this a week from tomorrow. It'll be on the 13th. It's a workshop on how to make your own medicines. It is free, not just for the students of the Mae'Govannen, the Elven School, but it's free to everyone. So go ahead and check out my YouTube channel here and look, and you'll see that it's scheduled for the 13th. It's a free live workshop on how to make your own natural medicines. Please, you're welcome to come and do that. All right, so I also play the psaltery, and it is an ancient instrument that's related to the harp, and I play that. I'll show a picture of that here as well. So I love to do those kind of things because, again, it immerses me into the culture, immerses me into helping me remember who I am, and I know that I've heard from many others that it does the same for them as well. All right, I love to write books. All right, some of you know I've written 6 books on holistic healing to help yourself. They're on Amazon under my doctor's name, Dr. Arundel Spindleilis. You're welcome to look at those. But one book I'm really excited about, and it should be out this month, is my first Elven book. It's coming out. It's not written in Elvish, but it's on Elven culture. It's called Elven Awakenings. It is literally a handbook for today's elves. How to awaken, how to live as an elf, and things of that nature. It's very exciting. I'll put a picture of it up here anyway, it's coming out in just a few weeks. Very excited. My first book out on that, so I hope you enjoy it. It'll be in both ebook and in paperback on Amazon. All right, I love to write poems. Some of you have probably seen that. Sometimes I'll put the poems in the newsletter. This newsletter coming out this weekend, we'll have another one of my Elven poems. So I hope you enjoy those. Something else that's incredibly important to do, and I try to do it every day, is to meditate in one form or another. There's so many forms of meditation. The school talks about it, the book talks about it. There's so much free information on the internet on how to meditate, because what meditating does is to calm the mind. And when the mind is calm, there's less noise, and you're more likely to hear what your heart is actually telling you. There's an old Zen saying about, because I love to study Zen meditation, there's an old Zen saying about meditation and what it does for you. And what it does is it causes us to see the truth more clearly. And the old Zen saying goes is that for most people, the truth is that in the saying is the moon is the truth, but most people don't look at the moon. They look at its reflection in a lake. All right, so they're not actually looking at the truth, they're looking at a reflection of it. But the problem is that when you look at only the reflection of the truth, it can be distorted through a breeze or through somebody throwing a pebble or a storm, and the water becomes very turbulent, and that blurs the image, and so you can see it even less. When you meditate, one of the first things that happen is that you calm the mind, and the waters of the lake begin to calm, and you can see the truth more clearly. And then you realize there comes a day, and Buddhism and Zen Buddhism is called Satori. It's that moment of awakening, of enlightenment, when the waters have become so calm, and you're seeing the moon clearly, when you realize, oh, I'm actually not looking at the moon. I'm looking at the reflection of it. And so you turn around, and then you see the truth for the first time. You see the moon for the first time. And that's what meditation can do for you. And that's what it has done for me for many, many years. Okay, so for me, I like to go out and meditate in the garden. But again, in urban settings, you can go into a room that you have built it to be a peaceful room, a room of peace. Have pillows laying around and candles and things of that nature. Whatever is it that appeals to you. Okay, so in other words, another thing that you can do is to try to do something, especially if you can every day. Try to do something for Arda, for the earth, because we are here to not only heal and grow ourselves, but to help heal others and heal Arda herself, to heal the earth. And when we actively do something like that, then we are participating in our elven nature, which only strengthens our resolve and strengthens our vision of who we truly are and reaffirms it every day. All right, for example, things you can do is a healthier, eco-friendly diet. For me, I'm a vegan and I'm a raw vegan. All right, it's a diet of compassion for what I do. All right, recycle, reuse. Another organization I've worked with is the National Wildlife Federation. Through them, I'll show you a plaque. We turned our home, which is very easy, and this cute little donation to them after you fill out a form with some questions. We turned our home into an actual wildlife sanctuary. All right, so turn your apartment into a wildlife sanctuary. Do things of that nature. Be a part of the healing process, because right now the world needs it more than it ever has, and you can be a part of that healing process. Okay, because when you heal the world, you're actually healing yourself as well. All right, be an urban ecologist. All right, be it through our school or through someone else. Learn to work with nature. All right, so basically it means doing something every day. Learning meditation, working with the earth, getting out and getting under the trees. I know because of COVID, in many parts of the world it was hard to get out, though most countries you are still allowed to get out and go and take walks and things. And a lot of people don't do that. All right, get out. Try to be with nature every day if you can. It will reaffirm who you are. Read, study, play music, learn to play an instrument. All these things are important. Come to our school if you want to do something like that. At the school we teach how to do Reiki, because Reiki is so important. Whether you come to our school or go to someone else, one of the most elven things you can do is to study Reiki. Reiki is an energy healing and an energy type of healing. It has become so popular now that even hospitals, hundreds of hospitals just here in the United States, are now allowing Reiki to be given out to the patients that are actually there. Okay, so it has a lot of validity behind it now. It's absolutely wonderful. We teach it, an actual certification course in the school. From an Elven perspective, but you're also allowed to get just a Reiki certification so that you can go out and get a job. Not too many people I know are going to hire an Elven Reiki master. All right, but you can do that if you'd like. Because again, Reiki is part of healing, and Reiki is not just for healing yourself or the humans. It's for healing other life and healing the world itself. Here's a picture where I show where I actually a bird. I talked about this before. The bird flew into a window of ours and fell to the ground, and it was freezing outside that day, and my wife had wanted to know what was going on, so I went out, and there was the bird laying on the ground, lifeless pretty much. The head was over, the mouth was open, the eyes were closed, and the bird was pretty much, and it had, as I was walking out, it was trying to be steady, and then it just fell over, and that was it, and it appeared to be gone. So I picked up the bird and I did Elven Reiki over the bird. And over the next probably 10-15 minutes, the bird became more and more alive, more awake, until finally the bird was fully healed and still remained in my hand. And I show a picture of it here, how the bird had no fear. The bird was healed, and then finally the bird flew off on her own. Okay, so you can do things of that nature if you'd like to. So again, the newsletter. Again, because the newsletter is something else that you can do, and it's free. Something else you can do to immerse yourself into the Elven culture. The newsletter talks about Elven language and gives lessons on it. It gives recipes for healthy food, if you want to take a look at that. It has Elven stories, Elven history. It goes into so many different things. It's just it talks about elven healing. Each issue of the free newsletter teaches you another herb that you can use, another way to help heal yourself and your family, if that's what you'd like to do. So it's free. That's something else you can do. It comes out every month now. We're getting back into it again. Like I said, it should be out this weekend. In the school, like I told you about, we're now adding, amongst everything else, besides being a certified Elven herbalist and everything else, this weekend we should be adding Elven ecology and Elven botany. And I'm very happy to announce one of our Elven family, Sean McKenzie. He has now become an instructor of the school, and he is the botanist, and the Elven botany was designed by him. So we want to say thank you to him and for the great work he's done for the school. His course will be online as well. All right, and one of the really exciting things is going to be in the next couple of weeks or so, we're finally adding Elven Medical Herbalist Level 2. Those who took Elven Herbalist 1 learned some great healing techniques for themselves and their family, because it's a family herbalist they took. The next course, if you've already passed that one, is the Elven Medical Herbalist. This course is a pretty heavy-duty, intense course, but you can do it. I've never seen anyone fail this before. You actually become a certified medical herbalist. It is a wonderful way to help promote your career and to get, hopefully, more work and a better job in the future. All right. We'll also be adding again here soon Elven culture and history and philosophy. And as I mentioned earlier, Elven Awakenings, my first book on Elven culture and philosophy, and the handbook of elves in today's world will be out here in just about 2-3 weeks. I look forward to it. So one other thing, I know this sounds like a big sales pitch, but I'm trying to help people out financially. Our school is already so inexpensive, but what we decided to do is, one of the things that elves love to do is to celebrate the seasons of the year. Well, it is now Elven summer, and we have the summer solstice coming up. So with that, the school will have a sale going for those who are currently in, and for those who would like to join. There'll be a sale to help it make it a little bit less, even less expensive for you. That'll be coming out in the next couple of days, a sale, and it'll last for June. All right. So most important of all, be an elf every day. Do something elven every day. Look at yourself and know who you truly are. Watch my other videos. They're free. Watch my other videos. Hopefully they'll help answer some questions and learn about who you are. All right? Well, it was a blessing being with all of you today, and I hope this has helped. And so until we talk again, Namaste.